It's the voice of the river, L-I-F-E, life, Liffey. So she's all the rivers of the world, but she is also specifically the River Liffey at certain points. I was in Australia the year before last and was asked to do a reading for Bloomsday, and I said, oh, okay, I'll do a bit of Molly Bloom if you let me do some Finnegan's Wake. So they said, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So I did the last page of Finnegan's Wake, and that was one where, when I was doing it in front of all these people, something happened. Those undefinable moments happened, and I went, oh, here's another one. I'm going to have to do this. I was thinking of only working with the last 10 pages of the book, which is very specifically where she speaks. But the more I started working with that, the more I began to feel it was a bit too much like Molly Bloom. It was a very lyrical, very beautiful, and I wanted a little bit more of the difficulty and the grit, and I suppose the more cosmic part of the story. It's been very much that kind of path where I followed an intuition, followed a hunch, and it's revealed itself in very interesting ways. I don't think I've ever worked on anything quite that intuitively before. And that is the only way that you can approach the book, because it's an invented language. It's a flow of sound, and what you get is the energy of that flow. There is no narrative, but there is a journey. That's what's really interesting. There's a definite journey through the piece, and I really feel it, and that's what guided me. So beginning with those 3 words, which is like, it's this idea of an opening, and it's almost like the journey through the piece seems to be like a journey through the history of humanity. It's very cosmic at times, but also the history of Ireland, and the shedding, the process of shedding and moving onwards all the time, just like grabbing onto something and having to let it go because the river's continuing. And there's this incredibly positive energy in the whole piece, I find. It's just heading towards the ocean, and the ocean is a kind of a death, but there's a celebration of that. There's the fear, but the celebration of all that letting go and becoming one with the great ocean of time, and knowing that something else is coming behind you, you know, as it were, your children, your virtual children, or, you know, the younger stream. The rain is going to come down and the younger stream is going to follow. You understand something. You don't comprehend, but you receive it. And I'm very interested in that, partly because I grew up between 2 languages myself, and I always knew that the real place of expression was somewhere in between those languages. It was in the place of silence that gave that through which other sounds came out, which was a combination of several sounds, the sounds of nature, the sounds of other languages, which are much more expressive than the limitations of one language.